Welcome back, everybody. This segment brought to you by MoneyLion, positively changing the financial path for every American. The percentage of women in C-suite roles is slowly inching up. That is good news. According to an analysis of the nation's 1,000 largest corporations across 8 industries, women hold 25% of the 5 critical C-suite positions. Our next guest is on a mission to empower these women and more and strengthen their experience in the C-suite. Joining us now, Lindsay Kaplan, co-founder of Chief, a private network designed specifically for women leaders. Lindsay, privileged to have you. Thank you for everything you're doing for females. What's the story behind Chief? Why was it launched in the first place?
Yeah, so it came from a very personal place. My co-founder and I were both VPs in our companies, and we realized that as we were climbing the corporate ladder, suddenly we were becoming de facto mentors to everybody else, but there wasn't a lot of support when the challenges were getting tougher, when the decisions were getting more important than ever. So we decided to create a network for women who are in leadership positions to come together with 2 goals: to connect them to one another across industry, across role and function, and to give them the support that women need to get into leadership and to stay there.
How does Chief help women rise up as a leader? And I have to ask, Lindsay, how many women have you helped up to date?
Yeah, so our network now has 5,000 members across the country. We started in New York. We had small expectations that a few hundred women would join us, and we found there was a real need and there is legitimate demand for Chief to keep expanding. So right now we're open in New York, LA, Chicago, San Francisco, Boston, and DC. And those 5,000 members represent over 2,000 companies. And what we offer includes peer groups. So we have an amazing experience where we bring together 10 women from different roles, industries, functions on a monthly basis with an executive coach in the room to normalize support and strategize around executive challenges. We also have masterclass workshops. So those sessions include building diverse and inclusive teams, the future of digital disruption, strengthening network effects, and then we bring in incredible speakers. So our members are used to being on the circuit, so need to go above and beyond. So we were really lucky to bring in people such as Stacey Abrams, Jane Fonda, Amal Clooney, Gloria Steinem. And finally, we also unite all of it on our proprietary app to really ensure that we can connect and support everybody across the country. And recently, we just opened up 3 spaces in New York, LA, and Chicago because we wanted to have a flagship for all of our members to meet, convene, and really have a space that they can call their own.
That's quite the list. Congratulations on your growth, Lindsay. I don't have to tell you that.
We've been busy.
Yeah, I can tell that really. Amal Clooney, I love her. That's incredible. The pandemic, I don't have to tell you, has greatly impacted women, of course, in the workplace. What have you heard from your community about how the pandemic has impacted them specifically?
Yeah, it's been tough. A lot of people have called the pandemic a women's crisis. We surveyed our members and found that over a third said the pandemic is knocking them off their career course. And a quarter were planning on leaving their company sooner than expected, just due to their company's response in the pandemic. So it's been really difficult, not only for people who are caregivers, but we also found that 77% of women who are not caregivers feel like they've had to work harder. So across the board, we've seen a lot of disruption, and we're hoping to see things stabilize as vaccines roll out and we can get to herd immunity.
I have to ask, how important is networking and raising up other women, especially when it comes to advancing your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely critical. It's lonely at the top. We've all heard that statement. It gets lonelier a lot faster when you are a woman, when you are a person of color. We need more diversity at the top. And to say that is one thing, but we really need networks. We need community to build support around people. So we're not just saying, we've diversified our boardroom. That's great. But are the people in the boardroom actually supported? Are we giving them a support system to combat the pressure and responsibilities that they're facing as they change the face of what leadership looks like in these organizations? It's absolutely critical to make sure you're not just checking the box, but you're supporting the people you're bringing in to help create that change.
Lindsay, I have to ask, what advice do you have to women who are watching, looking to climb their career ladders?
Yeah, I have a lot of advice because we have 5,000 members who are incredibly successful and have done an amazing job in their respective industries and roles. I would say personally, the first piece of advice is to get to know someone. Making a connection is not, it shouldn't feel transactional, right? You're building relationships, and those relationships take time, and to think about it as a long-term investment in getting to know somebody. The second piece of advice that I would give is to really think about your career. The ladder doesn't work anymore, right? It's very up and down. I think of it more as a mountain. You are climbing that mountain. You need people alongside you. There's going to be rock scrambles, dead ends. Hopefully, when you make it to the top, you can help lift others as you climb. So it takes a lot of endurance and resilience. Yeah. But I think thinking of it as a long climb instead of just a short trap up the ladder is really helpful in exercise and long-term thinking.
I love that. Not a ladder, but a mountain. Brilliant. Lindsay Kaplan, co-founder of Chief. We hope you come back, Lindsay. Thank you so much for your time. And now we can bank, borrow, save, and grow all in one app. Visit MoneyLion.com to learn more.